Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back with another vlog. It is 2:19 in the morning right now. It's not 4 a.m. thankfully. Tomorrow, or technically today, is the work picnic, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't know if I'll bring anything. I told my mom that I wanted to bring something like Russian, but I don't know if she's actually gonna make anything. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a picnic. It's not a big deal. I just read House of Leaves, like the first 3 chapters. I was in like a weird mood, so I just searched up like scariest horror books ever, and House of Leaves showed up as like one of the options. And I've heard of it before, like the premise. I've heard of it before, and it really interested me, but I never read it. And so I was just like, you know what? I need to read more, and this sounds really interesting. I want to read it. Wow, what a journey this has been. I'm only like 3 chapters in, and it's like I got it for free online. I won't say how, but the PDF is like 700 pages, and I'm only like 40 or 50 pages in. So what the heck? And I kind of spoiled myself by scrolling down to the very bottom, because this is not your average book. Holy shit, it is not your average book. It is crazy. Like, first of all, the way they write the author, I think his name is Mark Danielewski or something. Like, it's like Mark Z. Danielewski, I think is his full name. First of all, you need to get the book in color, because some of the words are in color. That's interesting. Primarily the word house is written in blue, and just thinking about that freaks me out, because I still don't know why. I'm like, why is the word house in blue? Like, no other word is in color except for the word house, and it's in blue. And I'm like, obviously the whole premise of this story so far has to do with like the weird house, and how it's like bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So I get that. But just like the kind of like the meta narrative that they've got going on is really interesting and really creepy. And just like the way they write the book is so interesting. I've never seen anything like it before. It's like there's like two main narrators essentially. There's Johnny, and then there's the old guy. His name was like I forgot what his name was. It was like Zap. It was like it was kind of like a weird Polish name, like Zapodov or something. I forgot, but basically it was like the old guy, who died, and it's written from those two perspectives, and they have like different fonts and everything, and it's like you can like very clearly tell when one character's writing versus the other one. And it's really interesting to see kind of like how they connect, because like I guess like the present, like the main character is Johnny, right? Because he like talks about the old man in the apartment, who died, and how his friend his friend name is like Lito or something, gets him to like explore the house or explore the apartment after like he died, and like all the police and ambulance is like cleared the place. And first of all, that's already creepy, but then like there's just like so much mystery at the moment, and I'm like, I have no clue like what's going on, and like the suspense is there and it's killing me. And there's just like a lot of mystery, a lot of interesting narrative storytelling going on. It's very like, it's very meta, because like they address the reader directly. So like it's written in first person, second person, and third person. Like it's written in every perspective you can think of. And like even like omniscient to some extent. But not really. Mainly it's written in like third person, and when it's Johnny, first person. But sometimes Johnny switches to second person to talk to the reader directly, like, yes, you. And like, he like talks to the reader, like, F you. Like, I don't care what you think. And stuff like that. And I find that really interesting. It's very like on the head, which is like, it works. Like, it works. That makes it like kind of scary, because it's like you're a part of the book. And the way they switch between Johnny and the old guy's writing is also very interesting, because it goes like Johnny's stuff is written in Courier, like the Courier font, and then the old man's stuff is written in Times New Roman. And also it's written with like citations and articles, at least like the old guy's stuff, as if it were like real. And the author had to go through so much, I'm guessing, to like come up with these articles or references, because he does like full on citations, like he puts the number and everything, and he has footnotes, and the footnotes are part of the book, like story wise. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, the way it transitions from like the text, and then the footnote like has like information in it as well that's like really important. And sometimes the footnote becomes the main text, which is crazy to me. And it even switches to the different character in the footnote. So it goes from like, it's so basically the story is from the perspective of the Navidsons. Like, that's like what the story is about. The Navidsons, they move into a house, and the house is bigger on the inside than on the outside, right? And so then the old guy, he's like researching this, and he's writing about this incident, the Navidson like incident. And he's like it like I think, what was it called, the Navidson files or something. And he is basically like documenting everything that happened regarding like the videos, because the Navidson guy, he was like a photographer, and so when he moved into this house, he like documented stuff, he recorded stuff, and so then that all got archived, and then it became like kind of like mainstream to some extent. Like, at first it was like not well documented, like it was just in like VHS tapes and stuff, but then it gained some popularity when it got published by, I forgot what the publisher was, but like someone like published it, and it like people started seeing like two main videos that Navidson recorded. One where he did like a 360 around the house to show that like there was nothing weird outside, right? But then he goes inside the house, and there's a door. He opens the door, and it's a dark hallway that's 10 feet long. That would not make sense, because it would protrude from outside. Like, you would be able to see the hallway protruding 10 feet outside the house. But he goes outside, and there's no hallway there. It's just the backyard. Like, there's nothing outside. But on the inside, there's like a dark hallway. And then that's creepy. And then like the family's like, no, don't go in there. And he describes it as like cold. So first of all, that's really freaking creepy. And then there's another video called Exploration Number 4 or something, where it's like a video from inside the house, but it's not the same house. And it's like there's like no windows, and like the hallways are longer, and like the staircases lead to like nowhere, and it's really weird, right? And he's like describing how he's like lost in the house, how he has like no food, running low on water, and people in the book think like, oh, this was just like an elaborate hoax, like because he's like a photographer. It's probably just some like really elaborate hoax. But then some people think like maybe it's not a hoax, and then that's like basically where I'm at right now. Like people, like it goes on like a bunch of tangents and stuff, but like that's the main thing that I've gotten to at this point. And then Johnny, like once the old guy died, right? He explored the house, and that's when he found like a trunk or something. It's called a trunk. I don't really know what a trunk is. I thought at first it was like the trunk of a car or like a tree trunk, but it's something that you can read apparently. Like it's called like a black, like it's like a trunk. It's splattered with like black paint or something, and then it has like hinges or something. I'm assuming it's like a chest, I think is what that's supposed to be, with like all the files in there, like all the papers. And I'm assuming that's what he found, because then he mentions how he's getting like obsessed with reading this stuff, and how he's like locking himself in his room, ignoring everyone, even his friend Leto. And like he's like measuring the dimensions of his own room, and this is like happening, like it's like foreshadowing, I guess, what happens later on. But it doesn't like go into depth like what's happening with Johnny and like why he's getting so obsessed with this. Because then there's this one really interesting moment where the old guy was writing about something about the Davidsons, and how like the water, like the heater in their house was broken or something, and it was really cold in their house despite it being summer. And then the footnote is Johnny being like, hey, like the water heater in my house also just turned off today. Is that a coincidence? Like, and then he goes on this like super long tangent. And it's still a footnote. This is all in a footnote. Super long tangent that has nothing to do with the Davidsons. Just like a completely random tangent about like how he was telling this fake story to some girls at a bar. And I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? And I don't know, it's just so it's like the whole it just feels off, you know what I mean? Like it just feels weird. And it's like I don't get it, but I'm also really interested in reading more. Because it's like weird and I love it. And then it just resumes from the old guy's perspective, like nothing happened. Like sometimes it even interrupts like mid-sentence. Like it would be talking about something, and then it would just end there. Like there wouldn't even be a period. The sentence gets interrupted by a footnote, or by like the other character talking, writing something, and then it just resumes from like a couple pages ago. So it's like you have to like backtrack as you're reading. So like you're reading something, it does a tangent, you fully read the tangent, and then it gets back to what you were reading earlier, right? So it's like, you know how like footnotes are like kind of like tangents, right? But they're pretty short, right? Footnotes are usually pretty short. Some of the footnotes in here are several pages long. So you have to read the footnote because it's part of the dialogue. Like it's part of like Johnny's speech or whatever, or like some other character. And it's like, it's important, right? So you read it, and then it just goes back to what the old guy was writing about the Davidsons earlier. So you have, like, if you don't remember, you have to like end up like scrolling up like a couple pages sometimes to get back to what he was talking about earlier, to be like, oh yes, he was talking about this, and then scroll all the way back down to after the tangent. Like why? Like why would you do that to me? It's so weird. And the fact that it does it mid-sentence sometimes as well is so creepy to me, because it's very like, just like doesn't give you time to breathe, it feels like feels linear, but also like really disconnected at the same time. And it's really unsettling because there's no like consistent structure or format that you can like stick to. So it makes you feel like uncomfortable, which is the whole point, right? This is a horror book. And just like, I think the part that gets me the most is like how analytical everything is. Like from the old guy's perspective, he writes with such like precision and accuracy, and it feels like a real research article with real resources, real citations, and all that. Even though it's not real, it's all fictional, right? But it feels real, and that's scary. That is so freaking scary. It's so cool. It's so cool. And like the fact that they implement so many different like elements, like the word house being in blue and different fonts and like all that. And then I kind of, like I said, I spoiled myself. I scrolled all the way down just to see how many pages there were, and I saw like a big jumble of random words, not in like just like in like a pile, like a literal pile of words. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening back there? I don't want to go back there anymore. I'm scared. But yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. I've never seen a book be this creative with its writing, because I've always thought like they give you so many options in like Google Docs, like italicize, bold, underline. But I feel like a lot of books don't use that. Like they don't use colors, they don't use different like varying fonts or like styles of writing. But this goes all out. It uses everything. It underlines, italicizes, bolds, uses different colors, different fonts. Like the footnotes, obviously, a very interesting element to use in your writing. It feels non-fictional, but it's also fictional. And the use of first person, second person, and third person is also very disconcerting. Because it's like, why are you talking to me directly as a reader? It's kind of like a folk tale almost, like The Ring, right? It's like 7 days. It's like, oh my gosh, like if I go to this house, will it affect me too? So it's kind of got like that kind of vibe, and it's like, oh gosh, like I feel like I'm gonna get cursed by reading this. It reminds me a lot of a movie. I think it was called like Mungo Lake or something, or Lake Mungo, where it's like a documentary style horror movie, and a lot of the like a lot of the times it's like just like a documentary, but obviously the themes of it are very creepy and scary and haunting. That's the best way to put it. Haunting. This book feels haunting, and it gives me Lake Mungo vibes with like how it tells its story. But it's a lot more like, I think it goes even further, because books are obviously like better than movies in most cases in terms of like how much time they give you to process the story, and just like the storytelling itself. It's just better, okay? It's just better most of the time. I think we can all agree that like the book is usually better than the movie adaptation. Just saying, except for like the Hunger Games. Hunger Games is pretty good. But yeah. Anyways, this vlog has gone on way too long. I want to read this book all the way through because I'm so curious to see how it ends. And it's just such an interesting idea. I didn't think I'd get this into it so quickly, but it is hooking me in, and I want to read it. But I do still have to do my work. I did finish one of my assignments today. It was just like a reflection, so I did that. But I have an executive summary that I need to do, and I'm like, I have to read like 40 pages of this stupid article that is like about business or some shit, and I'm like, I don't want to read 40 pages of this shit and then summarize it. Bro, I don't want to do that, but I have to. It's an assignment. SMH. So yeah, that's due August 11th, which is in 2 days. So yeah, I gotta do that soon. So yeah. Anyways, that's it for today's vlog. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. See ya.